Hi guys, it's me, Mona, and welcome to Drinks on Me. I have a new series called Other Side of the Game. So I want to get different point of views and perspectives. Today we're talking about taking care of each other, handle with care. You can find me at Mona Minaj on Facebook. You can find me at Classy Host on Facebook and Classy with a K underscore Hose Houex on Instagram. And I have with me today Mr. M Nebula. Hey Mo, how you doing? Introduce
Hey,
yourself.
what's going on, people? What's going on, people? How y'all doing? It's your boy, M Nebula, aka Makai Kondo. Uh, you can check my channel out at uh Metaphysical Minds on YouTube. Um, Pretty much, I'm just like into nature, into herbs, stones, crystals, things of that persuasion. That's all. And I'm just out here supporting my home girl on this new series or this new line she's coming out. So without further ado, I pass the mic back to you.
All right, thanks. So with the turmoil the world's in today, we were talking about how we need to have this connectivity, how we need to really learn how to handle each other with care and kind of reconnect, overcoming stereotypes, working through myths, and kind of creating a new narrative and a new blueprint to how we need to handle each other. And you can't handle somebody with care if you don't understand them or something you're afraid of. So you have to excuse. Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys, real talk. The sun is blaring. I'm going. I'm now like hot, bright white. Like I don't know if you can see me. It is what it is. We're trying to catch some rays, be outside in the fresh air, and just do our thing. So bear with me and pray that my speakers are working properly. Mo,
Yes.
mm, let's start with stereotypes. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. As soon as
Roger that. Roger that.
doesn't somebody start doing yard work? That's my life.
Right.
So stereotypes. What would you say? I want to flip it. What would you say are some stereotypes um, in the home and in relationships that men kind of buy into about women? And we're talking about black people, but people in general.
What's a stereotype that we buy into with the woman?
Yeah,
Um,
like, I mean, men have stereotypes about women, black women in particular, black men. What are
okay. Well,
stereotypes?
so what's one stereotype we buy into? If you're dealing with a queen, quote unquote, black woman, which not really black, Aboriginal, excuse me. If an Aboriginal woman, that means she could be Puerto Rican, black, whatever we want to call it. Uh, it's more of a mouth thing.
Mhm.
Sisters come with that sass. Um, some sisters not knowing when to stop talking. Saying the wrong thing at the right time.
Mm.
So even though we may call it a stereotype, I mean, it's kind of just like the nature of women in general, and it's just to different extremes per se,
Mm.
based on that woman's journey or her experience in life. So I would say the one stereotype, it would be the mouthing, the sassiness. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna shoot from the hip. But that's just that's the nature of a woman. But that's the one stereotype that we definitely buy into, because I don't know if it's a stereotype. It might be some truth to that one right there, fellas. Ladies too, y'all kind of know. Y'all know.
I mean, I think there are some truth to stereotypes. I think stereotypes are like, people who draw those characterizations of you and at the amusement parks. It's you, but it's exaggerated. So I think stereotypes, they are truthful, but they're exaggerated and they pigeonhole you. So yeah, I mean, black women can be sassy, if that's a term. I don't like that term. Sounds like a bratty 3-year-old, but they can have some mouth on them, and they can be difficult at times, um, within good reason, and they're misunderstood. I think that's the biggest part of that. I think women, in order to get through that facade, you have to stick with them, and that's the problem. You know, who wants to stick with somebody who's difficult and put in the work? God bless my father; he does it with my mother. 47 years of sticking with it and staying together, and she is difficult. Bless him, boy. Woo. So I mean, I think women, they haven't. I feel as a black woman, the stereotype is partially true, but I know that being around other women, it's true of all women. Any woman can be difficult, if she's got that personality. Black women in particular have, and not even just black, but yes, indigenous, aboriginal, melanated peoples, we have more issues. We have more weight that we hold upon us. So it does sometimes come out, and it is hard. How have you all been dealing with us, the ones who stick with us?
Um, in some perspectives, we ain't always sticking. Um, it may be a particular reason that, a man associates himself with maybe this woman that has a mouth, maybe reminds him of his mom. Maybe some of these men are not alpha males and it's cool for their chick to talk to them that way. And or maybe they were dominated by their mom. I mean, it's just a million scenarios the way it can play out. But at the end of the day, these so-called definitions of a man, where it's about the finances and the ruling and the running everything. I mean, these are not some just fly by night rules that you just automatically have. It takes work to become that thing. You're not a man because you got a dick between your legs, or because you pay the child support, or because you buy your kids something. It's something that's a lot more deeper than that, because we're talking about surface bullshit. Um, uh, we have to be lenient on our brothers and our sisters as well, because of the gentrification, because of the mind programming when we went to the public schools, because how we're seeing ourselves as black and not in our greatest form. So it's a bigger agenda before we even go deep within the relationship, because coming into it, they may have a warped ideology of what they're supposed to be. I mean, how can I judge a black woman on European standards?
Right.
How can I hold her to, you got to be able to make this amount of money, this and that? And I know the fiat currency, it don't exist. I understand it's a game, but now I can't measure you. I can measure you in your commitment levels. I can measure you on different levels, but if you feel that you can talk to me the same way because you can make money like me, or you can own property like me, it
Mhm.
doesn't make us equal, because it's the mentality, it's the mind frame. This world, yes, it is designed and set up for the man, absolutely. But like James Brown said, it would be nothing without a boy or a girl. You can't have the humans on the earth without the woman. So we definitely recognize her position. But at the same time, I'm speaking from a perspective of what Europeaners have programmed our community's mind in regards of material things, and you pick your mate based upon what they have, not who they are, because the material shit could change. So we got to kind of get back to the Harlem Renaissance. We got to get back to our way of thinking. This is why they don't want to teach us who we are, because we are a deep people, and that's why they have to destroy our homes. They have to separate us from one another, because if we really got in the pocket and we did what we did and spent our money in our community, it's over. We'll take over, and they know it.
Yeah.
So that's the bigger agenda. But within our families, yeah, you know, us brothers, we make mistakes, and sisters too. But you gotta just think about the bigger picture. They don't want us together. They don't want us to build. They don't want us to become millionaires. They don't, because we make our own communities, and then
Yeah.
they'll be coming to us like they did before. You
Right.
know, they always came to our hood. It was the bullshit. Elvis went to the nightclubs. That's where he got his music from and shit. He stole. They went to the club. You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog was written by Big Mama Thornton,
Right.
and Elvis went down and listened to it, and then put the shit on the radio and just took the bag. Like, they've been doing us like that the whole time. I mean, that's exactly what's going on. So that's why they over sexualize the black woman and they demonize the black man. It's a fact. And so it's what it is.
Mm. Okay. So, hit me. What kind of stereotypes do you all think that are perpetuated for you as a male?
That we are all promiscuous, that we're all deadbeat fathers, that we don't take care of responsibility, that we lazy, and we're being held to the terms and responsibilities they created for us. Most of us Aboriginal men are not even in our right capacity. We're living European lives, everything from our diet, our language, like we don't have our own customs and traditions. So we're trying to measure ourselves in a mechanism that was never really created for us, but it was kind of created to enslave us and put us in bondage. So um, what I'm saying is very trivial because we still gotta stay earthly. You can't be so heavenly high that you know earthly good. But at
Right.
the end of the day, you gotta understand that there's weapons being used, you know, silent weapons for quiet wars. I mean, there's all types of things that's being put out here to get our mind frames to, you know, their prejudices. You know, you were told your name, you were told when you were born. Most of our thoughts is what's handed down to us through the ancestors. The
Mhm.
whole of being awake is to reprogram your mind, to reboot, to remove those things which you were told is true, and go find within yourself and know that it's true. Not because somebody told you, but because you looked it up. And so now it's true because you believe it.
Right.
Nobody's wrong. Because whatever you believe, it is. If you believe you are that, you are that. So us saying you're wrong, you can be whatever you want to be. Because I'm gonna be what I want to be. You're not gonna put limitations on me. Why? That's just totally being free. I don't care about how much money you made last year because you got fiat currency. There ain't been no real money in this country since 1933. It's fiat currency. So now, what you gained is cool. You got that stuff, but you really don't have nothing. So now let's crack the shell inside open, and this is what we gotta do. We gotta do the soul search. You know, black women, black men. We gotta stop looking to other people to heal us instead of taking the time to really focus on your flaws and understand what was done to you and say, damn, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. We don't do that. We're so busy living in the moment and living in this false reality, the matrix, as they say, that
Right.
we lose sight of ourselves. We lose sight of ourselves. You got that $250 in your hand or G or stack, whatever. You got some Gucci loafers on. You got your gold chain. You can't tell you shit. The reality is like, wow, it's amazing for these little pieces of paper and it's cool. But at the end of the day, you can't take any of that shit with you. The only thing gonna go with you is your consciousness. So that's why the European made that world because that's all they can do. They're
Yeah.
not going on to the higher consciousness. This is it for them. They don't want you to know that, but this is it. That's why they keep the dynasty of the families, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, different things like that. So it is what it is. We're talking about shadow work. We're talking about facing the inner self. What really we're talking about right now. So
Mhm.
we can talk about the stigmas and the surface of what the issues may be, but the solution is internal.
Right.
The solution is a mindset. It's not, it really is understanding who you are, understanding your purpose, how you affect this planet, what it means to be a queen, what it means to be a king, how you supposed to move, how you operate. They got us all out the pocket.
So
So
before
we're fighting.
I worry about
we're
understanding you,
say it again.
before I worry about understanding you, I need to understand me.
Right.
So take care of self first, and
Uh,
then check out your counterpart.
Right.
Mhm.
Because then you're gonna know what you're bringing to that individual, and they're gonna know. You know, maybe they could cook, maybe you fish, maybe they cook the fish you catch. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like everything works together. A socket and a plug. It's a specific energy he gives off. It's a specific energy that she gives off. When you combine them two, you birth things. Whether it's businesses, love, children, community.
Mhm.
You know, love is not. You got to have individual love to connect it to another love.
Mhm.
You can't be empty and look for love because now it's just going to be one person sucking the other one. But if you take this person has love and this person has love, when they come together, the love they both have,
Mhm.
not just for themselves, but for humanity, for their children, for the people around them, that's going to create a circle. The reason that we're having problems in our families right now is because we're not loving. We,
Right.
we don't understand love. We think love is not a feeling, it's an ideology, it's a concept, it's a construct. um you have to pretty much make a commitment or create a contract to love because it's a way, because it doesn't change because the person you're dealing with is not moving in love. That's the thing that makes it so powerful and dangerous at the same time. Love will make a mother take care of baby, but a woman will also kill to defend her child. So love has many different viewpoints of it. And so that's what we need to get back to, is the love, but you can't love until you do the internal work, so
Right.
you can understand who you are and the effect that you have on your brothers and your sisters. Because we really one big family, but we just been done so wrong that our mentalities have changed because of experiences in our life. And so this is the detox period. This COVID-19 is the time for you to be able to sit down, reevaluate your life. It is, listen, when anything crashes, new must be rebuilt. So
Right.
never look at decimation as bad, because when you open your hand to receive, you got to open and let go of something for something else to go back in there.
Right.
So, that's pretty much, my stance on, from that perspective, is that that's the most important thing. Yeah, it's okay, you get a business, you getting money. But if you having seeds, you're here to let them change the generations for generations on generations, to put this thing back how it's supposed to be, how nature intended it. For the copper colored people to be in peace, having their own. These things were stolen from these people.
Right.
So that's a traumatic issue before we even get back to us, because now we're trying to operate in a system that they created that is not within the bounds of nature. That's why it don't work for us. We
Right.
marry with the spirit. They marry with a piece of paper and contract.
Yeah.
Use gold and silver from the earth. They use fiat pieces of paper, which is still from the earth. But gold and silver would be the creator's money, and paper is the man's money. But it's all still fake, because they know, because everything's priceless. But
Right.
that's a whole nother discussion.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so huh, stereotypes are things that we shouldn't even pay attention to, or maybe we should. Rewind, skirt this. I should be paying attention to the stereotypes that are put out there about women, melanated women, because there is some truth to it, and I should take that. This is what I'm getting from this. I should reflect, and I should look within. I should try and mend or heal what I can, move forward and grow before I try to understand a man. But what if I have a man child? What if I have a child that's a man? Like, isn't there some level of understanding that I need to have of the male psyche? I mean, I feel like that's a question. Let you answer that first.
I would say, from a woman's perspective, she has to understand who she is as a multiplier. Anything a man gives a woman, she'll multiply. You give her a house, she'll make a home. You give her food, she'll make a meal. You give her your seed, she'll make a child. So that's the first dynamic that we must understand, that it's not about one is greater than the other. It's
Mhm.
just that they both have a role. Okay. Society, only our women call themselves strong. I'm a strong black woman. You'll never hear no white woman say I'm a strong white woman.
Oh,
You ain't gonna hear no Asian lady say I'm a strong Asian woman. Well, guess what? Strong and strength, some women may feel that's the way to be, but what happens when you run into a man who's strong? Now, if you're strong, you can't be with a man who's strong. You got to be with a man who's weak, because you're in a role. We're just saying energy perspective. So if you're in the energy of strength, you think this man is gonna come and fight with you?
why does strength have to be a fight?
Okay, because at the end of the day, it is love. Like I said, it's submission. It's
Yeah.
not submission to necessarily a man, but it's submission to nature and how things go. Now, in nature, we are to protect. So just because you may be doing that role, when your tire's flat and you're in a relationship, you're gonna look to your man, the physical attributes of it. So if that woman is in that capacity, when a man comes, in her mind, he has nothing to offer, because I'm already doing what he does too. So now I be the bag, but I'm gonna cut my own grass too. And I know they don't have no choice but to do that. But now when a man comes, and this is just real like surface stuff. So
Yeah.
let's say the man comes and now he cuts her grass for her. Okay, he serves a purpose in her life now. But if she's just strong and hang on to, no, I'm good, I cut my own grass. Now he can't serve a purpose in her life. So that's the trick of being strong. I'm gonna do this myself. So because I don't need no man. No, what you're doing is you're removing that slot for him to slide in there, for your life to have unification, for you to have that balance. You can take this off your plate now, because now you got to worry about what you're cooking tonight, not cutting the grass. He just took one burden off you, and then you took a burden off him, because you're gonna cook tonight and he cut the grass. That's what we have to understand. If you're strong and you're doing all that shit, what you need a man for? If
So
it's about the money you make, go ahead.
need to be very mindful of being too strong.
Right. It has to be a balance. We understand if you're single and you work, we understand it. But there needs to be another word for us to describe them. I mean, they are strong, but
Self-sufficient.
most black women that I have met that say they're strong, they're single. I'm a strong-minded black woman. Are you single? Yes, I am. The majority of the times. Because when your mind is strong, I get it. In corporate America, I get it. In business, I get it. But in your relationship, I don't get it.
You know,
Because
I
your
think
relationship is supposed to be your escape from that reality. It's supposed to be the place where you're safe, where you can be the real you. Because when you out here in the world, you're putting different masks on daily. But go ahead.
no, you're right about that. I think that the issue with strong women, the reason why we want to say we're strong or feel we're strong, is because we see the weaker or less masculine woman um, folding to anything. And I mean, I know plenty of women who are not strong willed, who aren't necessarily strong minded. They play a very traditional role when they're in their relationships. These chicks got like 4 or 5 kids with different dudes. They end up getting left. And usually for the stronger woman, really. Like, and women see that, especially when you see a breakdown in two-parent homes and things, where you would see a woman who may stay at home mom, because black women used to do that too. Like, there was time for that, right? Women in general, we see that, and then they fall apart, and then this woman is left, and then she's powerless, seemingly so. So I think women really hold on to this strength or this independence because they don't want to feel powerless, and they don't want to be left holding the bag. And if they are, they want to be able to carry that shit. Like, a real talk. I got left holding the bag. I got 2 kids. I got left holding the bags, but I can carry it. You know, I'm a strong woman, but I do not respect a weak man at all. I can't have it. It's not in my body. It makes me physically ill to do. I can't. I reject them, repel. I don't want that. I don't like a weak man. You know, I think strong women. I personally, being a woman who is strong, I don't like that word strong. I also don't like that word tough.
It needs to be something that's more elegant to describe her. Because I
Efficient.
listen, I totally get the whole attack is on a black woman. Homosexual white males act like black women. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
yeah,
Fashion and the hair and all that, that's just off the black woman. It's a fact.
yeah.
And so, yeah, we buy Gucci and Louis, and they saying they French and this Italian, but it's still they black too. Africa is right across from Italy. Them niggas swam across the channel. It's in the shape of a boot because they was over there knocking their goddamn boots. As a fact. So if you go back and you look at some of these designers and these Italians, they just as dark and they Aboriginal as well. Because Africa's right there, baby. But exactly what you're saying about a man being strong. Um, it's always going to be a power struggle because a lot of black males are growing up in single parent homes. But that's not by mistake. That's by design.
Yes,
Back in the 70s, if you were getting assistance, you can't have a black man living in the home. I mean, poverty is real. I mean, if we don't go to college and we're not afforded the same opportunities, people say, oh, those excuses, but that's some people's reality because everybody doesn't have the mentality to be able to rise from situations and still believe in themselves when the chips is down. Some people just succumb to these stereotypes or, what society says and they accept it. As long
yeah,
as you just continue fighting and pushing, you know, I feel like success is not what someone else thinks of your life. I think success is when you understand who you are,
yep.
you know how you can affect other people's lives. And when you have something that you want, you just go get it. Because stop and think about it. We're just here for experiences.
I'm
There's
sorry.
no perfect relationship. There's no perfect relationship. It ain't supposed to be perfect because
No,
we're here to learn. This is school. This is a test. If it's something better than this, then I definitely want to see it because I'm sure they don't got COVID-19 in this better place. I'm sure property is not in this better place. I'm sure that segregation and murdering of black people is not in its place, and murdering of white people. See,
yeah,
the whole game is they say Black lives matter, but I'll tell you the truth, all lives matter because in the eyes of the law, black is a color. It ain't a nationality.
right.
So they playing the game right there anyway with your mind for you to say Black lives matter. You're not black. That's a color. That ain't a nationality. That's not an identity. That's a code. That's a status. So
American. You think
right,
American lives matter?
exactly.
They say
Because
your lives
that's
matter.
the reality, right? So we definitely must pay attention. And right now, you might as well say this the great purge. It's like Mother Earth saying, look,
Like it.
it's a wrap. It's up. Y'all done played long enough. Y'all done took the land. Y'all done killed them.
Yo,
It's a wrap. We
sorry.
tired.
Your
We
little
tired. Listen, it's over. So it's not no racial thing. It's history. It's stuff that's been predestined. It's like it's what's coming. Like it ain't no. It's no like black or white. It's just that's the illusion. But they know what it is.
friend.
We all, if you understand, for those that know, shout out to the Indigos.
Thank you. I'm so distracted. Your friends, your little Rocky Bullwinkle friends, Rocky throwing pieces of food at me from the trees and the roof.
Yeah, I don't know why they hating.
I don't know. Yeah, you're 100% right. It was designed. But we have to find a way to. I don't like to say fight, but work our way out of it. We need to. We need to. There, we do have to. After we've taken time to understand ourselves, we need to take that same consideration and care and respect and apply it to each other. And what does that look like? Like for me, I mean, I have a son. I've had relationships that may or may not have failed, but they've moved on. I feel like um, I put in the work and I try and fight against stereotypes because I expect more of them for themselves, not for me, but for themselves, and then consequently for us. I do respect them. I respect their feelings because men are taught to stifle them. You know, you're taught that you shouldn't have. Everybody has feelings. You know, but they're there. That's the extra burden that you carry. I think women come across so melanated women come across so raw because we also against our nature society has taught us to stifle our feelings, which is not natural. It's not natural, you know. And if you're stifling your feelings, how are you nurturing your children? You're not nurturing your children. What are you giving birth to? What are you putting in the world? You know, those are
And
shells,
this,
zombies.
and this, and this is why I say we need to have the leniency. I mean, not to be dumb. We gotta hold our brothers and sisters accountable. But at the same time, on this planet right now, we need some black love. We need us coming together, shopping with each other, creating our communities. That's the only way this thing is going to really be a benefactor. Because you home, like we can feel that something's going on and the change is coming. But this is the most deepest paradigm is when the queen sits on her throne and the king does too. Peace and everything is restored. You just have to know who you are. It's not about. It's funny. I mean, I can say a lot of different things about money because that's our main objectives. What you got, how much money. We're chasing the bag every day. We're not really living in our full capacity. But we got to play the game because this is like hell. This is like hell. Think about it. You got to pay for everything. Your health care, your medical, your water. Nothing's free. Nothing's free. Even when they give it to you, they still had to pay somebody to get it. So
Right.
it's a game that it is what it is. You got to play the game, but at the same time, you got to have that balance, and that's it. Like I love black women, they're Aboriginal, but y'all know what I mean.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like that they was, at times they're not done right, but at the same time, the system is to destroy the woman because she's the one that birthed the nations. So we have to definitely decimate her because she's going to put the seeds into the child.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
so the deficiencies of that man, maybe being absent of male energy, may make him become more feminine and more sensitized.
Hmm.
And so, now his heart is on his sleeve, so he's violent, but it's really his emotions. He's very emotional inside, and he hurts easily. But he's a gangster on the outside because he'll shoot you, he'll do whatever. But that's something that kind of came from childhood. And that's just what we need to get back to. It's not the man's fault. It's not the woman's fault. We just gotta say, listen, we've been doing the wrong thing for a long time. You gotta wave the white flags and say, hey, let's try something different. Let's try something different.
I agree. I agree.
Absolutely. And it's funny. Drinks on me. I don't got no drink. Ain't that something?
Neither do I. I'm thirsty too. The drinks on.
Right.
We're drinking in the sun. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Drinking in the vitamin D.
Absolutely.
You're drinking that D. I'm sorry. I got to be a little ignorant. I can't help it. So if I'm trying to self care, and so I rub myself. I'm sorry. If I'm trying to like self care and self heal and connect, what do you think that looks like? Like I understand that you know a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, if it was myself, and this for me, um, I definitely would look at my physical, my internal. I would look at what I drink, what I eat. I would research what it does, what the different chemicals do when I eat it. You'll hear a lot of people saying don't eat dairy and these things, but I would research it. I just wouldn't listen to what people say because you have to know yourself. You have to know what to put inside of your body to give it fuel so it can perform at its best. Now, that's where I would start. I would start with my diet, and I would make a commitment to myself to love my vessel and to try to put the right things in it and be more dedicated to having a more fit lifestyle. And I'm not talking about just going to the gym. I'm talking about knowing about herbs, understanding how to detox properly. I'm talking about eating superfoods and foods that's high in nutrients like you got things like you can juice like kale, you can technically juice your breakfasts. You can get frozen fruit and make smoothies, and then you can add these extra herbs like spironella
Mhm.
or maca root. Or, but if you on some medications, you definitely got to check with your doctor first. But I'm just giving you an example of what the things I would do. I would get herbs and things that's over the counter that's already dosed out for me, and I would see the effects, and I would just try it and see if it affects my life. Um, I feel like all of our cures are here because the medicines that we take are made from the herbs,
Really is good point.
combining them anyway. So why take it in that form? Because I don't know the side effects. Because you know what they did to make it what it was. But
Yeah, they synthesize with natural, which makes no sense
right,
at all.
like it's just like what's the one? It's in Jamaica. It's a diuretic. I can't think of the name right now, but it's a tea. You get it in Jamaica. Hibiscus. Hibiscus is a natural diuretic. So, some people just been drinking the hibiscus for years and their blood pressure's been regulated. But that's not everybody. It depends on your diet, age, all that good stuff. So,
Cold hibiscus tea lowers your blood pressure.
because you said, how does it?
No, I said cold. Cold hibiscus
Oh,
tea lowers your blood pressure.
right, right. See, there you go. So, and it's other things like that. Garlic does this. So, studying your body and if you putting the food, because remember from day one, any food that got put in your mouth was put in there. Your mama either gave you the breast or she gave you the bottle. Most of us got the bottle. And if you go look at what was in the bottle that we was all drinking, pay attention. You gotta understand what you take in is what come out. If you got a lot of bumps all on your skin, it's most likely your diet. Because the chemicals in the food when you sweat is coming up and laying on your skin. And so now you're getting bumps on your skin because the chemicals in the food you're eating. That's a fact.
It's funny. I'm a titty girl. I was breastfed. I breastfed my son for a long time, like Mama Africa long. Like but really, real talk. My daughter wouldn't do it. She has more health problems. She wouldn't take to me for whatever reason. And even I'm a fluffy one, but I didn't have I didn't taste my first candy till I was like 9. Like I wasn't able to eat any sweet things. I had all natural everything. That's just how
Oh
I was
wow.
raised at that time. But when I ate sugar, ingested it affected me greatly. Now they find that eating sugar in high doses, it affects your brain chemistry and it literally makes you stupid. It's
And
reversible.
sugar is one molecule away from cocaine and
Yeah,
its addiction factors.
the fu-
Sugar is in everything.
yeah,
That is the number one thing. Listen, that's why sugar diabetes is what's in the black community. High blood pressure gonna beat it. That's the salt. Sugar diabetes is the sugar right in your face. High fructose corn syrup. That's how they got us.
yeah,
Diabetes is from high fructose corn syrup
yeah.
because people don't do the cheap way. They give us whatever they want. You read these labels and see the stuff they giving to us. You're like, what?
Right,
And
right.
so that's why that's very important because you got to think to yourself, why would somebody want me taking this if it's going to calcify my pineal gland or if it's going to give me kidney stones? Or why would they give this to me? Right, because we got a whole medical industry that needs patience because there's no money in a cure. So
Yeah,
we need to keep you sick so we can keep pumping these pills into you with your high blood pressure and your diabetes and you'll come by this insulin and now we got you hooked on our drugs. When Mother Nature has it, they have it's a thing called verdict rule. Respect, peace, and love to the great late, to the late. I can't believe they killed him. I can't believe they killed this man, Dr. Sabi.
yeah.
The Burdick group purifies the blood, and it's amazing how they do dialysis. Because once something else begins to clean your blood, the body will stop because it's a function you're not using. If you don't use it, you lose it. So most of these drugs, they're not actually healing. They're actually just suppressing the symptoms of what it is you have. So you're not getting treatment. They're just masking the symptoms of the disease or the whatever you have.
But
So
isn't
it's like
it,
dying a slow death, and they're making the money. They're making money off that as well.
well, that's the same thing with our communities. We're not dealing with the real problem. We're just being. I can't even talk right now. You got me all types of ways. First of all, rewind. There is the world, but specifically the United States, profits off of our failure. It profits off of us losing. It the medical community makes money off of death and illnesses. I always say this, I believe it wholeheartedly. We are not as and I don't care what color you are. In the country, you're not set up to win because they profit on the loss. They
Right,
profit on our loss. If we were set up to win, we'd all be winners. Nobody would feel superior, right? So then
right.
you put that into our relationships and our the way we communicate. You know, we are fighting things. Yeah, you're 100% correct in the fact that we think we think that we're treating the illness, but we're not truly getting to the root of the illness. And,
Right.
and I don't
Because
know
the body will heal itself. The
down is
body heals itself. If
yeah,
you cut yourself, the body will make a scab. The body will heal itself. All you got to do is give the body the herbs to kind of tell the body, like, okay, when this is inside of me, this is what I do now. Because this herb is causing the, you know what I mean? So it is the potency of the herb, but it's also the body working in conjunction with it, cleansing it out. So when the hibiscus goes into your system, it's gonna make you urinate. It's gonna make you defecate. You know what I mean? So um, that the body heals itself. But if you're constantly pouring toxins and things that's detrimental inside, it's in your body's always gonna be in a healing state. That's what the itis is. Everybody had the itis. Thanksgiving, you throwing down, you having the turkey wings and you going ham. You gotta lay your behind down. Why? Because the body is like, oh my God, I got 4 pounds of pork over here. I got 6 pounds of cheese over here. I got this. I don't know what to do with all this stuff.
right.
You gotta lay down. I gotta process this. Let me try to process this. Now by the time I'm done sleeping, I'm up. What I'm about to do? I'm about to eat again. I'm about to have the mac and cheese again. I'm about to eat again.
I cook. So when I cook, I can't eat.
Oh, okay.
Smelling the food, I can't. It's like I've already eaten.
But that's just the rituals that we all partake in as so-called Americans. We do it every year. It's called Thanksgiving. And the sad thing is the pilgrims killed the Indians. So that's a whole nother story.
It's
You
not
kind of get how we live in a cynical world. You kind of get it. So figuratively, if on Thanksgiving they killed the Indians, they're doing the same thing to us with the food. Here, take all these here, take a turkey, but we're gonna put this in it this time.
Right.
Take this chicken, but we're gonna put this in it that time.
Right.
Okay, here goes some beef too. We're gonna put these chemicals in. We're not gonna make them natural. We're gonna put hormones in, and we're gonna put antibiotics in the chicken so that when you eat it, antibiotics no longer work on you. So we probably could make another drug to get you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, this is crazy. So, I mean, and some people will say it's conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory because look at how many people are dying from coronary artery disease. That's heart disease. That's cancer. Cancer is just pus and the body not being clean because we're eating foreign things. Think about it. If you ate everything from outside, you're not gonna get high fructose corn syrup. It's not even gonna exist.
No.
It's not even, you know what I mean? So it's like I would start with my diet. And then I would that was the first thing. The second thing, if I was in a religion, I would study it.
Mm.
I would study it. I don't care what the religion, if I was in, I would study it. And I would try to get the most out of it and understand it so that I could graduate and move on to the next level. So whatever religion I was in at that time, even if people told me it was bad, if it was all I knew, I would study that thing and know it inside and out. And then that way I can move on to something else. Because you may have many gifts, but you want to master some of them. So there's certain religions that I totally overstand, and then there's religions that I understand. Why? Because they're all on the one path trying to get to the same place. Just saying that you're wrong and you're right. This what worked for my people, this what worked for my people. Guess what? I'll take both. I'll make myself more powerful. I'll take the stuff that work for you and you combine it and go up another level. Because the whole point is you left me this information or these references on how to live my life. Okay, so I'm gonna take from you, the Egyptians, because y'all live like this. Okay, I'm gonna take from you, the Olmecs, because y'all live like that. I'm gonna take this from them. So I just look at the civilizations of my cultures and what did they do? So if they were creating pyramids and erecting scarabs and carving those are some badass people right there. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about because you know you've been to Egypt before. So those some badass people. So that's why I'm gonna tap into that energy. You know what I mean? I want to tap into that because that they gotta be thinking a whole different way. So that's why I don't put myself in a box. What you believe is what you believe or what works for you. But guess what? This might work too. So I'm gonna try this. It worked for you. Let me see if it works. Because what if I do what you said and don't work for me? Everything's not for everyone. So
So,
you gotta keep an open mind. Go ahead.
so heal the body. Work on healing the body. If you're healing the body, that's going to clear your mind. When you're clearing your mind and you're gaining knowledge, that's going to help you have the mind-body connection. It's going to allow you to open up emotionally and allow your heart, not your literal heart, but your emotional side to heal, to be able to then reach out to someone else. Because we're sick. We're emotionally sick.
We all are too. We all are. Even me. We all are. Nobody's perfect because if you're not, if you are, you're gone. You'll transition out. So nobody's perfect. We're far from it. It's just like, you know, the things you get, and the things you don't, you may have to learn from some outside source. You may have to learn from experience. You may have to go through the pain. That's the horrible thing about experiences. You got to live through it. But the beautiful thing is you're never the same. We learn much more from the losses than the victories, you know? So I'm just saying, you know, overall, it's a lot collectively that we have to think about. So that's why it's not a cut and dry conversation about the the disconnect between the black man and the black woman. And like I said, excuse me again for those
So,
Aboriginal, Indigenous. I'm just saying black, so we all on the same page.
right,
Um, but it's definitely what we need. We need unification. We need for us to understand. You know, uh, you need to understand what that woman is going through, and that woman need to understand what that man going through. If you got children with this man, you know, give that man an opportunity to be a father to his children, and vice versa. Because we ain't perfect. You
right,
know, you needed that other person to create that baby, so you ain't got the right to not let that baby see what it came from,
right,
regardless of how you may feel about it. So that's another thing too within our community. So I'm not saying all the blame was on the outside because we got issues that we gotta pretty much, you know, level up and kind of address and adjust, you know, make the necessary adjustments in our lives to be what we're supposed to be.
right.
So you know? So that's why I said we need more patience, brothers. You know, if you see the signs and you know what to do. Ladies, you see the signs, pay attention, follow your intuition, you know? Try to make the best decision and try to have the other person's interest at hand as well. So it can be balanced. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a perfect world, but that's kind of like what we got to get back to, because if we're not doing that, we're just really wasting time. I mean, that's why I said, only in our culture are our women calling themselves strong. And I could say my mom was a strong black single mother and all this and all that, but at the end of the day, just like everybody else, she had to disconnect with black men. And this is kind of like the dynamic. This is kind of like the narrative that we kind of see just consistently. And
The,
so I just said to myself, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, finish your statement because I cut you off.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mhm. I was just saying, coin has two sides. The other side of a strong black woman, perceived, right, is an angry black woman. That's the same thing. The same people who put us in that box and made us feel like we had to be this way, and then ourselves we perpetuated it. Um, for that strong black woman, the women think that's something that a plus. They think that it's an attribute that is needed. That's where the angry black woman comes from. That's where that comes from. That's the same person. That's the same point. And it's funny. I submit. We talked about this, having to submit, learning to submit. You have to know yourself first, right? But submit. We have to let go of some of our fear and our anger. And I think that I'm not saying, like you said, don't be a fool, but learn how to trust. Learn how to trust. Get somebody, give
And
them a
that's why it's so funny you saying learn how to trust, because it goes right back to that self situation. Because if you're still living off the past and you're saying, well, this relationship ain't gonna make it because what I've been through over here,
yeah,
that's you not trusting yourself. Because if you saying it ain't gonna work because you had this issue over here with this man, and I'm gonna have it with this man, that means we're in a cycle. We never sat down and said, okay, listen, I got this issue. Where I got it from? Okay, I got it growing up in the house with my dad, or I got it growing up, my uncle. This is where I got this deficiency. So this is what's hindering my relationship with my partner. I got trust issues because what Tawanda did 10 years ago, and I still never healed from what Tawanda did 10 years ago. So this is everything that we're dealing with. I counseled a person and they were like, they had this issue for years, like since childhood, and they're like in their 40s now. And the main question is all the answers are within yourself. Out here is the world of questions, but inside is where the answers are. Because those are seeds that people have planted in you that you've allowed to grow and fester and pretty much take away the energy away from your garden, and
yeah,
we tuck it to the side, and that's what comes back to haunt us. Those are the issues that you can't get over. So sometimes you'll find yourself around that same situation or in that same cycle on a hamster wheel until you overcome it,
yeah,
because it's a part of your what's the word I'm looking for here, initiation or uh, rites of passage. Because if you say you want to elevate, well, what are you going to elevate? Money is not elevation. Material things are not elevation. They are the remnants or the manifestation of the ability to control things. But at the same rate, can you control your heart? Can you control your mind? Are your emotions just out of whack and you're just running around crazy, just shooting the mouth off, just doing whatever, not really thinking about the consequences that come with you acting that way? So, and that's on both parties, because like I said, a child's going to emulate who they raised by. So some men act like their mama. It's a whole fact. It's a reality. Just like some women act like they daddy. It's a fact. It's the influence you have. But when you know who you are, then you'll create your own reality, because everything we have is handed down to us. Like I told you, they gave you your name. They told you when you was born. They told you you was black and African American. They told you that. They told you your great grandmother was Native American and then turned to you and said you're black, African American. They did this.
yeah,
That makes no sense right there. Great grandmama was an Indian, but you are African American. That's a whole nother topic.
yeah.
And this is what happened. So we believed what we were told. This is the awakening where you must know in your heart and in your mind what it is that is reality. and what's your reality. I'm just saying.
I was looking at something a woman said, and it was a white lady, but I like her. I like her. She's like a life coach situation, and she was saying just change your language. Something as little as changing the language, a few words that you might use to describe yourself, or a few words you might say can change your entire perspective. It changes your narrative. It changes your momentum. It puts it out in the universe, and that's real. That's real. Some of this king queen situation, when people say that, I I have an aversion to it because I don't, if I don't feel like they believe what they're saying, I don't like the labels that's bestowed upon me from someone else. I don't refer to myself as a queen. Um, but I also don't think that I'm some lowly life form. You understand? Like I don't know. Where labels are big in this society, and like you said, they give you a name. That's a label. They tell you what to do. What they're labeling you, and they're directing you. And we can believe somebody else, your parents or what have you, but we don't believe the labels we've made for ourselves. That's sad. That's very hard to overcome. I myself, I don't like calling people princess and queen, and I don't like that. It doesn't seem genuine to me. But to me, see, for me personally, to call somebody a queen, I'm not saying they're not great, but I feel like it would make, I would have to be submissive to them, or a queen is held in a higher regard than myself. And I don't think anybody should be held in a higher regard. We all should be held in the highest regard, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, here go a little tidbit and little pieces to that to kind of bring a little bit of clarity to you as much as I possibly can. The term king and queen really is reference to sovereign, which is really one that governs himself and governs him or her own affairs.
Mm-hmm.
We are to move in a certain capacity in which we can create what's called negotiable instruments to be able to discharge our debts. So when we're talking king, you absolutely are a sovereign, but because you have ties to the land. And so it's we the people fund the government. So this when they say I'm a taxpayer and all that stuff, it's
Yeah.
deeper than paying your taxes. So when we call we call that black woman a queen or that king, we're basically saying you heir to the land here. So even though we're thinking like king, like monarch, that's what they got over us. They got the Pope and the Queen of England.
Yeah.
That's the last monarch. That's who over us. This is why we're under Roman rule and all this good stuff. So when they're saying the king, that's why they say, "Oh, you sovereign citizens." They're just playing it up because
Yeah.
they understand that you're indigenous to the lands, and
Right.
they know they're the visitor. So it's just like when a company call you a debtor. You can't be a debtor because you create the credit with your signature because they pledged your birth certificate and your sweat equity to pay the debt of the United States, which is trillions. So that's pretty much what it is. So when you're calling that woman a queen and a king, it's not figurative, it's literal.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that. So we think it's just a fella, oh, what up, queen? No, she is a sovereign. She can handle her own affairs. She
Yeah.
can create bonds if she knows what to do. So this is the hidden knowledge they hid from us that they've been using against us for years. Everything's commercial. Everything's contract. And so when you say, hey, king, hey, queen, you really are. People think, yeah, if me and you, if you're the queen, I'm the king, and you got a house and got kids, that's your kingdom right there, ain't it?
Yeah.
So now, how many ever babies you have, that's how big your family is. Yeah, that's why people are like, oh, man, 10 kids is a lot. Man, if you was thinking, you have 50 of them.
Yeah.
Is You have 50 of them. So now, when you start making businesses, you already got people to work in the businesses. You sending this one to school for design. This one is carpentry. So now they could build a place. They could go work for themselves. You build a super team. That's what you do. Make sure one of your son's a carpenter. Make sure your daughter's a seamstress. She can make clothes. He could build stuff. That's what this is about. It's about nation building.
Yeah.
It's not about, you know what I mean? That's basically it. And that's how it would go. And now, then we got into the whole other side of the coin, patriarchal instead of matriarchal. That's a whole nother discussion. So they ain't ready for that one. They ain't ready for patriarchal versus matriarchal. I ain't about to explain that concept, but
Oh, what
that's just Google that, look that up. Patriarchal versus matriarchal. It'll make a lot of sense once you look it up.
mm, you brought a very calming spirit over me, I must say, because I was a little turned up, and you just kind of like shut me down, shut me up in a good way. In a good way. It's going to take a lot more conversation. See, we're up here thinking we're going to talk about male and female interactions and interpersonal communication and relationships, but you can't have a relationship if you don't have one with yourself. And so it always comes back to one. It always comes back to us.
I'm gonna say this to you too. I want the people listening, specifically the ladies. The reason why you're a queen is because only a queen can birth a king. Only a queen can birth a king.
When you say king and queen, I believe it from you because I feel God in your body, God body, right? I feel you, right? I feel your whole connection with things and your vibe, and you put it out there. And it doesn't matter that you got little Jason now, but you're speaking to our higher selves, our inner selves that beyond the shell. And I believe it. You know, I think when I deal with other people, males in particular, but women too, they don't believe that they're great. They don't believe in their greatness, and they don't know anything about. I mean, nothing about our culture. And sometimes, it's okay to fake it till you make it, jump on the bandwagon. But I think that was my aversion. But when you tell me things, some that I know, some that I don't, I believe it because I can feel the sincerity from you. I feel that you don't have any ulterior motives, and you really just want people to be educated in themselves so that we all can be great. So we all can be great. I have to
It
think.
is because we do, because we kind of owe it to ourselves. I mean, we are dope ass people, man. Look at
That
our fashion. Look at how we create. Look at how we put the vehicles together. Look how we do music. Look at us. We are beautiful people, man, and we just caught up in the wrong stuff, man. We really do. That's why they don't never want to give us our own. If we just had our own, and they say, yeah, y'all stay over there, they'll be so mad they did that. They'll come back in years, and we'll be buying more land. Like, hey, we need this land too, and we need that too. Because
yeah,
it'll be, think about it. Just everybody there. You got your own entertainment. Listen, you put your clubs and establishments on that land. They're gonna come on there.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just time, man. It's time. Like Harlem Renaissance, Black Wall Street. It's time for us to do it. But we definitely got to come together and understand. You're here to make history. You're
Yeah,
here to make history. You're here to make babies. You're here to make your mark on this. So let's go. Let's do it. Like, why we playing? The bag is always there to chase. Get you a lady, get you a queen, get you a king, and say, yo, let's do it. So that when we dead and gone, these babies we left behind, they got something. We
right.
gave them something. We you know what I'm saying? We contributed. We tried to help them move forward because that's all we here for. You only here for a season, man. We don't live a long time. This shit is over quick. That's a fact.
Yeah.
75 years ain't a long time. 80 years ain't a long time. That's short. That's quick. But it's all good though.
So well,
Yeah.
tell them where they can find you again. And I don't understand something. You talk about nature and this and that. How are you so knowledgeable? I mean, how does this play into your daily life and what you do on this line? Like, let me know something
Oh,
about this real quick.
all right. Well, first of all, a couple years ago, I had a near death accident where I thought I was gonna die, but I said some things in the midst of the accident. I basically said, hey, I don't think it's my time to go. I think I got things I got to do for you.
Hmm.
And obviously, that wasn't me, obviously, but he was right. Or she was right. He or she, I say it, he or she, all right, was right. And once that happened, I had already had an affinity for the love of people. Like when I would see people going through things, I would want to be able to affect their life in a way to kind of make it a little easier. And
Right.
this was like as a child. This is like around like 8 or 9. You know, I remember giving away, like, I remember this one guy, when we was kids, I never forget, his name was Magabi. He was a Spanish kid. And they had stole one of his Transformers. So I just gave him the Transformer because I felt bad that they stole his Transformer. I mean, just little things like that. And, absolutely growing up, I was in the church. Absolutely. Growing up, I was. And so I had actually felt like the energy or God or whatever you want to call it before. And once I had that near-death experience, other things started coming on because I began to ask for more than just jobs and money and opportunities. I would ask for like, let me get closer to you, God. Uh, let me feel you. Like I want to know, like when you're in the room with me, I want to feel your presence.
Yeah.
When I'm praying to you, I want to know that you heard my prayers. Now, technically, when I was doing this as a Christian, I didn't understand that I was really speaking into myself.
Hmm.
I'm requesting this reality from something higher, but that higher thing is inside of me. So I'm basically taking it from my brain and manifesting it into the physical. But at the time, I didn't understand that. So when I would ask for more patience and more love, more people that was, you know, uptight and out of character would come around. Not understanding if I want to be the positive point on the plane, the negative got to come to test.
Right.
So if I say I want to love more, then there's going to be people around me that don't love. I
Mm.
need to be conscious of that.
Mm.
If I want to give more, it's going to be takers around me. So
Talking.
when you asking, you got to think about the other side of the coin because you become one side. If I'm the giver, then the taker's coming from somewhere. If I'm asking the universe, hey, I want to give this, guess what? Now I got to find a taker. That's a broken person. That's a person that's going through some things because they need some energy. But if that's your purpose, then you get in that capacity, and then you go back to your source and fill back up again. So it's just pretty much energy. It's just it's just helping somebody have a better day, or you know what I mean. It's not about necessarily doing a good deed. It's just about moving naturally in a capacity, and the people around your life is just affected in a positive way and a negative way. It goes both ways. Same way you can do something good for somebody, you can do something messed up for them too. We definitely are fallible. We are not infallible.
Right.
So, I mean, that's pretty much what got me into it. And then I read in the Bible, it says a wicked nation seeketh for a sign. But then I thought to myself, I said, okay, well, if God is the same God today, tomorrow, and forevermore, then he can't lie. And he got to answer me back based
Right.
on their rules. He got to answer me because he spoke to David. He spoke to Abraham. All of a sudden, Jesus come now. He not talking no more? Nah, it's the same cat, right? Hey, I'm down here. When I started doing that, it started showing stuff. But I didn't know it was the elements. I didn't know about Mother Nature. I didn't know about the fairies and earth, air, fire. I didn't know all that stuff. And the Bible's talking about it because the Bible is the book of the sun. I think it's like Helios Bibliosia or something like that. The book of the sun. That's the original name of the Bible, you know, because it's about the sun, you know, the 12 zodiacs. That's a whole nother show though, but pretty much it's not it's my search in my inner self to find out what was true and what was not. And I'm only over my reality, no one else's. I
Right.
just share the experiences that I have that can hopefully help you get onto your journey, get onto your path, and trust yourself because your brain is not going to be wired the same. You're not going to see life through the same eyes.
Right.
So, it kind of sucks when you know what's going on at first. And then you learn how to get remedy out of, you know, the bad part, so to speak. And that's pretty much it. I do a lot of reading. I don't watch much TV. Um, when the weather's nice, I try to soak that sun up because I'm melanated. Hint, hint. When the sun hit my forehead, which is my third eye, I soak in energy. Hint, hint. So we need to be out here in nature. That's why they want you in the house.
Right.
They want you in the house. You need to be out there in that sun. When that full moon, get out there, breathe that air. You connected to all this around you. These trees, all this. I'm breathing in oxygen that the trees around me is giving to me, and I'm breathing out carbon dioxide.
Right.
But the trees is so I'm connected to all this right now, just like you are, where you at.
We're all connected. That
That's
connectivity is that the breakdown of that is yeah. Get me started. Religion, God, nature, all the same. God is nature. God, nature, love, religion, energy. Religion is just a physical manifestation, right? But it starts with the creator, the energy. And it's so funny. I feel like when they and some people are not for religion, but belief. Let's say belief. Belief. If you have a belief, then you can have a sense of purpose, a direction, a connection to something. And they kind of took away that, and they took away nature. Technology did it. Um, we became discombobulated. We became dysfunctional. We Technology is killing us. It is killing humans. Technology and our creature comforts and our quest to be gods, um, or all controlling and all knowing, it's killing us because we can't know if we're cut off from the earth. You can't be in the know. How can you? I told you I was a barefoot walker. I am because I like to feel it underneath my feet. I feel connected. I'm looking at the tree rat, the squirrels he likes so much. But I had to tell him because he was side eyeing me, right? But like our families are broken down because of this. People, I don't care if you believe in Jesus, Jehovah, Allah, whomever. I mean, like there's a probably 100 different things I don't even know about, right? It doesn't matter as long as you believe in something and you connect. And I really think we should go back to nature. Indigenous peoples, you're right. We didn't live in boxes. We didn't live in boxes. We didn't breathe that stale air. We weren't getting forced air heat. We weren't getting electric heat. You understand? Like that's bullshit. Like, and as soon as they take us away from it, or they removed us from it, and now we don't even know that this is ours. And that's our power, but we don't know it. Some of us don't know it.
Right. But if they watching this podcast or the people that's viewing this, when you were speaking, it's funny it came to me. We're having this narrative because you're the ancestor back to change it. I'm the ancestor back to change it. The people watching this, you're the ancestor to change it. You're the one to go do the homework and understand what it means to be indigenous versus African American or black. We are in the age of information, so technology is a blessing and a curse. See, look, now you can go look up all the information right on your phone. You can run a business right on your phone. All this is it's a new world. The COVID-19 is ushering in the new. They're going to do away with physical cash. They want to go digital. So this is the bottom. The economy has crashed. This is an opportunity for us as a people and as a culture to utilize it. So it is bad because it keeps everybody looking down. But the awake ones, if you're awake, then you need to know how to utilize these specific tools because they're creating a new reality right before you. And if you're not hip to what's going on, you're going to be in the dark ages. You know how you know those older people in your family can't even use their own cell phone? They better get up to date because now you can buy stocks online on your cell phone. You can send money and pay bills on your cell phone. So they're changing from the old way right into the new. If they still writing checks, that's about to be a thing of the past. Nobody's about to send no letters for no payments. It's gonna be digital buttons. So you're right. To a degree, it is bad, but to a degree, it's a blessing as well. Because now it gives us opportunities. You don't need a storefront these days to have an online business.
Right.
So you see how it's a blessing. So now the little guy can have a business.
Yeah.
Anybody can have one. So there's no excuse like, oh, I can't remember. Yeah, you can because you can have it private label. It's a lot of different ways you can do it, and just sit back and promote, push, and just hustle. I mean, that's it. But at the end of the day, it's a blessing and a curse. And this is why we as a people must come together and wake up. We have to get on the same page and not compete with one another. And understand we're here to create communities. We need our own communities, man. Yeah, we acting ratchet. Yeah, we doing crazy stuff. Cause that's how we are. And then we need to have we need to have an area for them too.
Right.
Every culture got that. So yeah, they rowdy. Yup, y'all gonna live right over here. But it's gonna be y'all store. We gonna police y'all stuff. But y'all gonna live over there. We ain't gonna not build it because they need a place to go too. Shit. So, I don't want to be around them, but that's what we came from. So we gotta take care of our own problem.
I agree.
I'll make a project, but my project's gonna be way out in sticks and shit. You gotta go get a bus and a plane and a train to get to this. What I would create. And then when you out there, you're gonna learn skills, carpentry and masonry. And then now you're gonna come make money in those other black cities that's thriving. That's how you rehabilitate. You just came home from the big yard. Stay out here. We got our own BOCES. Now, guess what? You certified. You don't got to be certified for them, just for us. Because we don't accept they workers no more. So now if you're a certified bricklayer or you do whatever you do, now you go back to those black cities that we created, and now you're going to eat, man, because everybody need a roof. Everybody needs something done.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's my dream. You know, I could say it's a goal, but that's what we really need. To where you can, where when you walk down the street, everybody know you because we in one hood.
Yeah.
We got our one community. Everybody knows it's you. That's Jamie. Yup. Mm-hmm. Now you do some dumb shit, we gonna have rules like, yo, we coming to get you. Your ass gotta go back to that world. You out of here. You doing that thug shit, you go out there. Go back to their system. We gave you an opportunity to come over here. You're not gonna come over here and rob us, because we trying to help you get money. Remember, they gonna need us still. We still the babysitters. We still the stylists. They still need us.
Yeah.
But if we could pay ourselves now, oh, you want me? Okay, I'll do it for 1,500. Cause you gotta come to me. Well, my brother don't pay 1,500, but you do, cause I'm getting $800 from him every month consistently. It's simple. Think about it. You got a barbershop, all that money in that community going to that barbershop. You got a nail salon, all that money in that community going to the nail salon. Now,
Yeah.
guess what? You got a grocery store. She about to spend that money that she took from them nails and go to the grocery store. Now that money is okay. Boom, this guy does tiling or whatever. You paying him. You know, they cut grass, so the money's just constantly staying in the same community, and that's it. But that all, peace and love to all the people out there that tuned in and listen. Drinks on me. I ain't had no drink, but this is a very powerful conversation. Once again, uh, I am M Nebula, aka Makai Kondo, but you can get me at Metaphysical Minds on YouTube, on IG. I am Makai Kondo. Um, I don't really get the Twitter. I don't got the Twitter popping like that, but uh, definitely. Also, I want you to check out my health and wellness company. It's called A Kiss from Venus. akissfromvenus.com. Akissfromvenus.com. I got the natural shea butters. I got the oud about to go up. If y'all know about the oud, I got I got some frankincense and myrrh. I got some pretty good things. I got some His Majesty. It's all coming because we gotta get ready. Gotta get that skin right and tight. No wrinkles. All right, that all.
I'm gonna need some of that. I'm gonna need some of that. Thank you so much. Thank
No,
you.
thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I hope that we could just come together. Really, I mean, really, straight up, keeping it a buck. Like,
Yeah.
we really need to kind of come to the table and kind of say, listen, we've been doing it the wrong way, and we're doing the same thing our parents did. We're gonna do something different to get a different result. That's
Right.
it. That's it.
And don't look to the ones that are failing as the example. There are people who are struggling but making it work, who are putting
Yeah.
in work, and that's a success. And look to them. For all the shit I talk, my parents are making it work. There's success in that struggle for real talk. And so I love
Yes.
that we do have successes in our community, and we should not be ashamed to support them and to celebrate them and to recognize them. Come out of hiding. I know you're there. All right. I'm
All
Mona.
righty.
Yes, I'm Mona. Thank you. There's no drinks, but it's all on me. It's on us. Let's make this a better world. Let's make this
Yes, let's make it a better world. I agree.
a better world. You can find me at Mona Minaj on Facebook, Natural Impressions on Instagram, Classy Holds the Production. You can find us with a K, Classy with a K, and that's on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Just be present. Be present. And thank you. Thank you.
Peace and love, family. Peace and love.
All right. Let me see if I can see this now. All the sun that made me blind.